So good afternoon, everybody. So in regards to the 86th annual tree lighting event, which is tomorrow, the event's going to start at 8 p.m. The tree will be lit around 9:30, maybe a little bit, a few minutes after that, and it will stay lit until 11:30 p.m., which is a half an hour longer than last year. And just for your information, the tree will remain lit until January 7th. We do have several street closures between 48th to 51st, in between 5th and 6th Avenue, and that will start around 1 p.m. We will have 6 access points for viewing the event, which will be on 48th, 49th, 50th, on either 5th or 6th Avenue. And all spectators will undergo bag checks and hand-wand screening prior to entering the viewing area. Umbrellas, backpacks, large bags, and other similar items will be prohibited into the viewing area. So our deployment of personnel, we will have thousands of police officers working. We will have our K9 and mounted units out there as well, rooftop coverage with long guns, our strategic response groups, which fall under our Special Operations Division, our Critical Response Command, which falls under our Counterterrorism Bureau, as well as a bike task force will also be deployed in the area. The equipment we'll be utilizing are numerous blocker cars, jersey barriers, cement blocks, and light towers, and all these will be put in place to make sure it's a safe and secure event. We do not have any current threats at this time, and as usual, and as Commissioner states adamantly, it's a shared responsibility. So if you do happen to see something suspicious, please let our officer know, call 911, or use our hotline, which is 888 NYC Safe. Or, for those of you that use social media, you can follow us on Twitter at NYPD News, or on Facebook and Instagram at NYPD for any further information. I'd like to pass it over to Jimmy Waters now.
Thank you, Rodney. As Rodney's already stated, there are no specific or credible threats. As you've heard me say in the past about all the events in New York City, we start taking a look at this year's event last year. So as we were in the preparation stage last year, and as the tree was about to be lit, we were already taking a look at what we could do differently or what we could do better to improve and things that change. And we review that not only for those items, but also what the current threat environment is, which, while it continues to evolve, is the same thing. Active shooter, vehicle ramming, improvised explosive devices, and we've taken appropriate measures to prevent all of those things, using our canines, our long guns, our radiological detection and technology, cameras, license plate readers, etc., as well as drone detection equipment. I'm not going to, just like John Miller did not speak specifically, I won't either, but I can tell you that, you know, the drone technology is ever evolving. We're looking at a lot of different vendors. We're working with our partners in the Department of Homeland Security as well as the FBI. We partnered with the FBI on Thanksgiving. We will partner with them again for the tree lighting, where we will deploy technology that will identify whether or not a drone is motorized and in the air, and we'll take appropriate steps to find the operator as well as bring that down safely. Thank you. So we always take a look at how better we can position the police officers, you know, with the observation teams, the counter sniper personnel in terms of what went on in Las Vegas last year. So, and we just continue to make things better. So do we have enough of people in a particular area? Did we deploy appropriately? Do we have too much in a particular area where we can actually move it from one place to another? Well, it certainly makes us think. That was an isolated incident. We don't expect to see anything like that. But like Rodney says and the Commissioner says all the time, it is a shared responsibility. If they see an unattended bag or package, if it doesn't seem right to you, call the police right away and notify. There's going to be cops everywhere tomorrow night, and we can quickly have the bomb squad respond and identify and mitigate whatever it is.
Chief, you mentioned drones and the potential threat. Are you using any interface with any vendors or marketers of drones through your Nexus program or through the SHIELD program to try to get some early warning of any potential threat?
So there's a lot of different vendors out there that are looking to sell their programs and their packages. We've taken a look at a few. We actually tested them here in New York. As I mentioned last week, that it's got to work here. It's got to work in this environment with the tall buildings, et cetera, and canyons. There's no magic bullet here. There's no silver bullet in doing this. So we're looking at what's out there on the market, what actually will work, and when we find exactly that, we're going to buy it and deploy it.
Chief, just what would people expect in the days ahead between like now and after New Year's? Because the tree is one of the most heavily visited places in those years. Would you want it going in to that area here on out, or is it just tomorrow night?
Just tomorrow night for the tree lighting event. But as Chief Harrison has already said, there's going to be certain street closures throughout. It's very heavily congested. It's best that you make your way to the tree on foot and park a distance or take public transportation. There will be a counterterrorism and a patrol overlay in the area like we had last year and in years past. So there will be a visible counterterrorism presence of dogs and long guns, as well as Chief Hughes's personnel patrol service.
Jimmy, I could add on the day. On the day of the tree lighting, generally about 1 in the afternoon, we'll close vehicle traffic on 49th and 50th Street. Approximately at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll permit spectators to come into the viewing areas. Our main viewing areas are on 49th Street and 50th Street and Rock Plaza from 5th to 6th Avenue. Generally, it holds around 20,000 spectators for the event. So usually around 7, 8 o'clock at night, the viewing areas are full about that time. The show goes from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m. The tree lights around 9:30, and the tree shuts off about 11:30. So roughly about midnight, we open up 49th and 50th Street back to normal vehicle traffic and bus lanes on that time.
After the tree is lit, are you going to move people along, or are you going to let them stand there? What's the plan?
Yeah, generally for the event on 49th and 50th Street, to help people view the event, NBC puts out 4 jumbotrons that are in the roadway. So we'll keep them on until about 10 o'clock till the show ends, and then we have an hour and a half. So we like to get the people that get there to get up to view the tree. So we'll look to facilitate that to about 11:30. Once they shut the tree off, generally the crowds disperse. We'll get people back up on the sidewalks, and we'll get it operated. It usually takes about a half hour to get that going.
Chief Waters, just to clarify the drone issue, are you going to look at some drones as a possible asset for your security, or to just figure out how they could be sort of mitigated or intercepted?
So in the Counterterrorism Bureau, we're in a defensive posture. So what we're doing is looking for drone technology that would detect and also be able to interdict and safely bring the drone to the ground so that it couldn't be harmful to anyone. We're also taking a look at what's going on overseas, what they're using those drones for. We've been doing that since, for the last 15, 16 years. What's going on, in other parts of the world, in other countries, in the theaters that are out there with our military, to see what's going on there, so that we can stay ahead of it and prevent it from coming here.
Any others before we go off? You mentioned license plate readers. Are you using facial recognition also in these events?
We don't use facial recognition in Counterterrorism Bureau. The Detective Bureau does that in furtherance of investigations. If you want more of an answer, Chief Shea can speak to that.
Sorry if I missed this, but what exactly is the technology that would bring a drone down?
That's what we're not going to talk about. You didn't miss it. I didn't say it. But that was a nice try. That was really good.
Chief, do you have any estimate of what kind of crowd you're anticipating
Yeah, approximately, it's a limited area of all the events that we police. It's a large crowd, but confined space a little bit. So roughly about 20,000 people can view the tree lighting in Rockefeller Center.
Okay, last one, then we'll reset. Go ahead, John.
Chief, what the duration of the time the tree is going to be up? How is it going to impact everyday New York such as traffic and?
As we all know, that's the main draw for the Christmas season is that tree in the Rockefeller Center area. So our concerns are on Fifth Avenue. We have Saks over there, with the stores and keeping the pedestrians flow. So we put a lot of additional resources over there with our foot patrols. Chief Tran from traffic has additional. We have traffic posts on each corner to keep the vehicles moving. So it's challenging, but our goal is to keep the pedestrian and vehicle flow moving at all times.